It's early. Yeah, I'm watching, boy. I definitely watch. Nigga, put my prisons right on the nigga. I don't give a fuck. We got some great discussion about the moon real quick. I'm just watching. See what I'm talking about? Anyways, right? It's early, baby. You know what I'm talking about? It's early. More importantly, right? How can I say this in simple terms? Um, I discovered something very unique about myself. Yeah. It has something to do with the moon, but there's something I'm about to do too. Because I just understand a good percentage of the game. I did. So, right? I understand something. You have you have things in life where, let's say you going up, right? While you going up, life throw you a curveball, right? And you actually take the curveball, capitalize off it. All right. Now, this is the thing. When you are thrown an obstacle, right? The obstacle is not to stop you. It's actually to produce you. Okay. Now, I want to show you something that I'm experiencing in my life and that I have full control over. They can keep on sitting there. I just be watching. I be knowing things. I just be watching them. Anyways, right? So what I wanted to talk about is um it's this girl, right? And pretty much what I'm starting to understand with my own mind is that this girl from the past want me to make her within my mind. So I started realizing something. I said, let me pay attention to something very clearly. Let me pay attention to something. I said to myself, I said, yo, the last time we was with that girl was over, let's say, about 6 years ago, right? And I remember things of like I was always going up. And she would get upset with me for going up in life. She would get upset with me for teaching her. She would get upset with me with everything that I naturally was. She would be upset with me. And then I realized something deeper in that situation. I was like, okay, so pretty much with her, she looked at it like, if you become yourself, then like, okay, so pretty much you don't exist then. I'm about to defeat this chapter with my conscience. You just let me know the whole game. You did, and you just, as women, I don't think they understand something that I just understand. I said to myself consciously, I said, yo, I remember the days where my mind didn't think about women. My mind was more focused solely just on self. Then, right, departed from my girlfriend for over about, what was this, about 6 years? It's been about 6 years, right? And so, what I'm paying attention to is that was the last one. So, I'm looking at something, I'm like, her characteristics are the same characteristics of women that I'm dealing with today. So, I'm like, hold on, they're not in my house. No. So hold on, let me see something. When I go to certain job environments, they do the same characteristic that the girl from the past that left. Look, take off your glasses. I'm not allowing you to control me. Oh, you gotta leave the job. So I remember that. She would get upset with me if I didn't allow her to control me at the house. And then she would try to make arguments, make things worse. That way I can lose my job. I'm like, damn, damn. To me, I'm gonna be honest with you, I know women may appear differently on the outside, but consciously, it's the same girl that I left. Damn. It's the same one. Because think about it, if it was a different one, just because they appear differently, right, doesn't mean that that's a different individual. That doesn't mean that. It means like that individual you left is a conscious. And that conscious is upset that you don't want to connect with it. That's why it's like, okay, think about it. When you left her for her characteristics and her not being herself. So really think about that shit. When she try to control you at the house, you walk out the house. When you go to a job environment and she try to do the same thing, you walk away too. I'm like, yo, I understand this consciously. It's the same conscious. It's the same girl that I left. It is. And she literally fights herself every day so she can exist with me. So technically, she doesn't exist. She doesn't. So what I'm starting to understand consciously is if you're trying to control me, I understand that I'm greater than you. I have a better source of power than her. I understand that. So consciously, if I know like she wants to exist because in every woman they operate the same as her. And every time I reject them, every time I deny them, I thought they were all different because they appear differently. But in the inside of their minds, they all play the same. And I'm not complaining about that shit. I'm just understanding the power that I have over this shit. I do. Because every time they come by, it's like a consciousness of the moon. And I already understand where y'all project from. So I'm looking at the moon like, I left you 6 years ago. That's what happened. It's not a girl. That's just your conscious up there. Yeah. So I left the moon over 6 years ago. I outgrew the conscious of the moon. There we go. That's what it is. It has nothing to do with her. Wow. See, the thing is this. I'm going to show you. In life, right? Life gonna naturally throw you curveballs. But the reason why that curveball is coming is because you prepared. You are. Now, let's say you got a girlfriend, right? And let's say she trying to make you lose in life. That's not a curveball, bro. Yeah, that's not a curveball. That's someone that can understand with your own conscious, you are something more. And what I want to do is I want to pull you in your conscious from what you are working on, and I want to upload issues. That way you don't focus on what you focus on. So you have to understand the conscious of the moon. That's all it can do to itself. That's it. Understand, right? The conscious of the moon. At one point in time, the sun, that's the high-tech one. The moon is a lower variation of consciousness. It is. It shows me that every day. Left the moon 6 years ago. Moon still trying to chase me. Damn. So I understand the power I have over it because it's always within my grasp. You understand? What I understand with her is that she doesn't understand just yet that how can you stop him from becoming himself if his consciousness has already developed from the consciousness of the moon? That means he has already evolved. So if you've been fighting him since he was a child all the way up until now, that means he must have sold you an illusion of controlment. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you had full control over him as the conscious of the moon, then he would have never broke out of that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? That means that your power will be more superior to his power. But we know that the moon doesn't have superior power to the sun. You understand? Right. So, as the moon, I want you to understand that the sun has a solar ring around it. Majority of moons that are upon the earth that you call women, they always want you to give them a ring. Notice that ring consists of gold majority of the time, like a solar ring. Can I ask you a question, son? If consciously, right, you obtain your own ring on a basketball court, and the sun has obtained a ring of fire by doing all the self-actions, she wasn't there to help you. You didn't expect her to. Why would you give her a ring if she didn't help you at all? Why would you marry her? Why would you do that? I mean, we can all see that Michael Jordan, right? When he got his ring, there wasn't no girls that were out there on the NBA basketball court. Sure wasn't. It was just Michael, Scotty, Pippen, Dennis. Okay? So with that being said, I understand something with myself. That when you obtain your own power, right, you don't have to give it to anyone. That is the decision you can make consciously, but you don't have to give it to anyone because guess what? Look at what's playing on basketball. He got a ring. He ain't giving it to no girl. The sun got a solar ring around it. He's not giving it to no girl. So it looks like what's happening is this. Let me see something real quick. So without my power source, you can't do anything. Let me do this. Take all my power back. All right, take my conscience away from you. There you go. All right, now figure it out on your own. There you go. I'm done. Figure it on her own. She'll figure it out. Me consciously I don't have time for any of these manipulation tactics or games. So consciously, what I had to do is make her not appear in my world no more. Damn. That's the answer. The song was called Make Her. Shit, delete her. Delete her. Delete her consciously. Thank you. I don't have to play with you. I don't have to be with you. I don't have to experience with you. And nor do I have to remember you. Okay? All right. That's the thing about consciousness. Once you understand collectively, like, okay, all these avatars are pretty much the same. The conscious is being projected from the conscious of the moon into this digital vessel right here. And then guess what? On this side, they want to fight for this. We want to do what we want to do, and we want to use your power and your mind to make it appear and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I'm looking at every woman. I'm like, hold on, didn't I just leave a girl like y'all 6 years ago? Like, yeah. So hold on, how is it that all y'all have the same characteristics? Yeah, this world is not looking the way it looks. You know how it looks? It looks like there's one conscious that's operating all of you girls. And what I understand with the conscious of women, that's very, 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 very intelligent, is this. The conscious of the moon will never develop into a conscious of the sun. That's what it can't do. It can't do that. It has the opportunity to, but it's not going to do that. So what I understand is this. Without my power, without my mind, the conscious of the moon is nothing. So it's just like the conscious of the smaller ones that you call women. When I look at it, I'm like, so hold on. If I appear in front of her, right, and the conscious right now that she has is to go against herself. If I appear in front of her, she automatically go against herself. Like, yes. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know that. So it's like the sun. If I appear in front of her, she would try to appear in front of me, which is not what she's supposed to be doing. But I just want to ask, does this make her into herself? No. That's what I'm looking for. Thank you. Women looking at me like, hold on, what you just said? Like, I'm playing the game how you're playing it too. Yeah. The thing is that I had realized with myself, I have the power of the X and Y chromosome, which means that I have your information and data. As a woman, do you have a Y chromosome? Like, no. So you don't have my information and data, which means you don't know what I do. You can only try to outside because you don't know what I'm going to do on the inside. I get it. No, I like your game. I like your game. It makes everything makes sense. It does. So I'm the one, right, that can either help you become yourself, or I can play, right, my highest self, make myself appear in front of all of you, and you all would save the information and data of your lower selves, which means that your conscious becomes your lower self, which means I have power and domain over all of you. Thank you. I don't need you to be in my bedroom. I just need to know how your mind operates with me. That's it. I'm on the same playing field, ladies. Wipe you out your dream system. Replace it with a baby mama system. You know how many women with their men, very successful? I love when she play against me. I really do. I get to wipe her out her whole dream. Understand? The technology of your mind and your eye are connected. They share information and data. Okay? Now, what you have to understand is that when you go against me, that is the characteristics of not becoming yourself. But those are the characteristics I want you to save in your mind. I would never fight that against you, baby. See, you think that I would fight against you because you're not becoming yourself. No, 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 no. I agree with you. Don't become yourself, girl. Let's see what happens. The difference is you're looking at me like I'm crazy, like you're agreeing with what I'm doing. Right. Let me show you. Come here. Understand that the world that we live in is illusion. Okay? When it comes to how we live in this world, right? The projection that people may experience is that I'm doing great in life and it seems like nobody wants to connect with me. That's a lie. That's a lie. See, some women that were sent to my life, they were sent to my life to basically check up to see what I'm doing, right? Because they understand that in order to be with him, I have to change myself too. So if he's not changing his course of becoming his lower self, he's just going into his higher self. And what's starting to happen is that I love about women is that I love that their minds operate within controlment. I do. The reason why I love that their minds operate within controlment is because of this. Let me show you. When you have someone that operates within controlment, it's one of the best spells that you could place upon the mind. The mind would never break out of it. The reason why that is because the mind believes that within controlment, it can control everybody. Let me show you something. I've seen two individuals. You had a high-level individual, you had a low-level individual. What happened with the low-level individual, the low-level individual is in a computer program where she only experienced with low individual men. That's it. Why? Low individual men accept controlment with the technology of their minds when it comes to men, when it comes to women. You understand that? Okay. That's the only algorithm she has. Now, somebody comes by and basically destroys her whole algorithm to show her controlment doesn't work. Let me show you what happens with controlment. She tries to control the guy, right? The guy doesn't let her control. Now what happens is this. She is alone right now. She doesn't have someone inside her bed. So the controlment that's within her mind keeps her alone and keeps her away from me. Thank you. That's just how I want the word to be. Your controlment keeps you away from me. It's not harming me because you're away from me. If you put controlment within your mind, then the controlment of what? The characteristic of controlment has to come out. Once it appears, right, you're informing me. This is how you operate. Now, with my mind, I can either accept or decline. Do you understand? Controlment doesn't work here. If it did work, we would be doing what videos with each other and living a whole false life with each other. Do you understand the tech? Okay? So, what you have to understand is I have power over controlment. I didn't allow it to play, did I? All right. So that lets you know that controlment has no power when it comes to connection. You understand? All right. Fight yourself a little bit more harder. Got to punch yourself in the face. And then think that you're punching me in the face. That's the psychological magic trick that I agree with. That's what I'm talking about. I have people spending over hundreds and decades of their life trying to hold my life down. And then when they looked up, they was like, he was at the top. How old are y'all? 50, 60, 70, 80 years old? Damn. Can't get that time back, can you? The fucking setups are that real. Keep on working. Keep on working for me, people. Yes. Keep on working. Hopefully I get some woman that plays in the controlment mind. Hopefully I get that. So I can make sure she saves that information and data. That way she doesn't become herself. Come on, baby. I need you to do that. She doesn't understand what's going on. What's going on? I'm trying to control you. That's not what's going on. What's going on is I have you saving information and data with inside the technology of your mind by role playing with you. That's what I'm doing. So your conscious can stay and the repeat of where it came from. That way, I can agree and say, oh no, it actually repeated here, here. No, I broke away from it, outgrew it, did what I needed to do, and look at what it's doing. It's doing this, 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 this. There you go. Everything has to evolve. While the conscious of the moon may want to focus on, I'm trying to control the sun, the conscious of the sun understands, like, just keep role playing with it, keep role playing with it, keep on role playing with it, and understanding with the universe that if you don't evolve consciously, you have to be destroyed. Thank you. Moving along. If you don't understand that, come here, come here. You don't understand that? Come here, let me show you. Come here. You see Mr. Smith? Mr. Smith is nothing more than a projection of consciousness of the moon. Mr. Smith does not have a soul. Understand the tech. Understand when it comes to Neo, Neo is the one that has the soul, right? Understand the tech that even if you put him and even if you try to make him into something like Mr. Smith, the soul will surpass. Thank you. Even if you try to construct the whole world around the soul, the soul will surpass that world. So, with that being said, I actually kind of enjoyed this little computer robotic conscious of AIs, of, moon worshippers and moon people, but you people already lost already. Thank you. The game is so easy. Once you get the messages and the uploads of the game, do you understand, so you already watched the win. If I already watched the win, then that means they already lost. Everything that they're doing doesn't even, it's like you watching something already and you like, already won. So what's the point of them doing what they're doing now? It's pointless. We're just watching them lose. If I already watch how I won already, thank you, then I'm just watching people how they lose. Trying to tell you. I've seen this one lady. She is really good. She's really great against herself. She really is. And I compliment her all the time. I'd be like, right? I'd be walking to her all the time. I'd be like, in this life right here, in order to obtain your riches, you were supposed to be with someone and you met them a long time ago, like early in your childhood. You know what happened? I'm going to tell you what happened. You see your mind? Your mind is synchronized to the television's mind and every computer device. You don't really believe things in reality, which is really great. I love that your mind is like that. I do. Furthermore, you believe everything that comes from a television, right? That's the way you're supposed to be. You're supposed to believe in electronic devices. You're not supposed to believe in a human person. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to believe in electronic devices. Yeah. That is more superior than humans, isn't it? I'm just paying attention to how your conscious operate with information and data. Okay? So, being that your mind is like that, right? I'm not complaining about it, but more importantly, what I understand is that she doesn't understand that, you know how someone hacked a digital device, so electronic, right? The technology of her mind is hacked. Let me show you. She doesn't know the functionality of her mind. That's what I love, that way she don't listen to me. If you don't listen to me, then I'm not the teacher to your mind. Thank you. If I'm not the teacher to your mind, then you don't know how your mind operates. Thank you. So, if you don't know the functionality of your own mind, then you don't know what's going on with it. Thank you. Give her perception that she controls everything. Thank you. It's just like playing Sega Genesis, right? And you're playing a two-player game, and it looks like their two players are actually playing, but someone doesn't understand their controller is unplugged. That's what's happening in reality. Okay? All right. What's going on? Oh, nothing, baby. You just keep on doing what you're doing. All you gotta do is just put a computer screen in front of her. She'll follow the computer screen every time. Yeah. You ever want to make women do something? Put a computer screen in front of them. They will obey the computer screen. You don't find that kind of odd, do you? I know. You're gonna say like, what you saying? My girl a robot or some shit? Shit. Maybe that's too conscious for you. Go back to sleep. Now I'm gonna get you some warm milk. Suck yourself back in. It's okay. Get yourself back in there. It'll be all right. You'll be okay. Shit is brazy shit. I love what y'all became. Sure do. Non-selves. What I understand in the world is I don't have to experience with her? No. So I don't have to give her any memories to make her become herself? Nope. This is going to work out in my favor. Thank you. All right. Because what she's thinking is this. She's thinking in her head like, oh no, if I don't give you no memories, you don't become yourself. Stop. Understand that when it came towards the earth, the sun, and the sky, all within consciousness, it said right there in the Bible right here. This is what it said in the Bible. Right here, okay? You got to catch this shit. It said that God created the heavens and the earth, right? God created heaven and earth, which means, let me show you the setup. You see how the consciousness of the moon is in darkness? The consciousness of the sun must have been in darkness too. Yeah, it's the same reflection. But this sun must have obtained some type of consciousness with the consciousness of the Father, that I call the sky all the time, okay? In order to obtain a solar ring. So let me say something. If the sun has the ability, right, to know the information data of the moon, because that's what it once was, and then became with an enlightenment based on the information and data that it obtained, based on the experiences that it went through. I understand. Right. And then it obtains its own power source on its own. That means that literally, how are you going to defeat that? Yeah, how, like, consciously, like, when you go into war with something, you got to understand, like, so this shit was once AI too. And then it became the so-called AI variation came into a solar mode, and the conscious of the moon think like, oh yeah, I can. No, that means that literally, right? I know humans can't understand the tech, but that means that if the conscious in the beginning, if you create heaven and earth, and let's say everything was within darkness, that means that moon was within darkness. We can see that. Right. So how are you going to fight something that was within darkness and has obtained enlightenment? It knows darkness and light. How are you going to fight that? Yeah. Yeah, I'm not putting my money on that. Yeah, bro, that's like me making a wage, right? And that's like saying consciously, right? On the red side, right? LeBron, we got Stephen Curry, we got all the goddamn all-stars on this one team. And then we look at the other side of the team, we like, what they got? They ain't got nobody, bruh. They ain't got nobody. Then I'm going with the all-stars and put my money on them. Thank you. That's like you putting your money on the sun. Thank you. Why would I put my money on the moon? You don't even have both variations of yourself. You don't. Like, anyone can understand. It's just like this. Let me show you. It's just like when I tell people, what I tell them all the time. I be like, yeah, do you separate light and dark? You separate it, don't you? That's what the conscious of the moon do. Damn. The conscious of the sun don't do that. Listen again. It said that in the beginning, God created the heaven and earth. Heaven and earth. So before he created it, must have been in darkness. Creation, it comes a lot of light. Okay? So, okay? If the conscious of the sun came from darkness, then it means it knows darkness. Then it means it knows lightness. That means that this conscious did not separate light from dark. It didn't. It understand, like, I had to come from death in order to come to life. That's just like when your father project the soul, right, with inside the mother's egg. The mother's egg, right? That egg or cell that you call it, right? That the soul take upon, right? When you understand consciously, the egg is so-called white. The egg or yolk, right? They say yolk inside of what? The Bible. And they say egg inside this time. It's the same reflection. Okay? So what you have to understand is that soul, right? It's supposed to be allowed within inside the conscious of the moon in order to create. It's just as much as soul, right, is allowed to create within the womb. Do you understand that? Now, come here. You got some people upon this earth, which is crazy, okay? You got some people upon this earth, bruh put in the check, I'm done. Bruh put in the check, game over. I'm done. Bro, like, game over now. Yeah, it's over. Because if he probably got that message and was like, nah, I understand what he's talking about. He actually just said it. And it's brazy because the conscious of the moon is understanding, like, so I have both variations. I came from death. So that means consciously, if I went through the experiencing of death, the experiencing is information and data to know. Thank you. Memory. Which means I know what death is. The death of the moon would be like this, because the moon is the Death Star. The sun is the light star. Okay? Now, what happens is this, right? When you go up to a moon worshiper, right, you ask them a simple question. You ask them a question like, what is death to you? Right? They'll simply tell you death is someone that either died of natural causes. Death is something that where the body is standstill. Okay? The body is no longer active. You understand? So pay attention, right? If the body is no longer active, then that is how the conscious of the moon see things. It see things as it's not moving, it's dead. Okay? Now, the conscious of the sun understands something totally different. It understands that, hold on, if this is dead, right, it has to go through a process of being dead. Thank you. That's what it has to go through. It has to go through a process of being dead. It can't just be, oh, it's dead. No, it has to go through a process of being dead. So let me show you what a certain scenario with human beings that are projections from the moon. Let me show you. You have individuals that are in the conscious of being alive. You have also a conscious that wants to be non-aligned. Okay. Now, what you got to understand is that everything that you consume, right? When I'm talking about so it's like foods, stuff like that. What you got to understand is that simply as plain. If you are eating chicken, right? The chicken, in the process of that chicken, you had to kill it, for one. Okay? So if you had to kill it, then that means that the information and data of that chicken is already in a decay state. Okay? If it's already in a decay state, right? Then the information and data that you're consuming will be of death. Simple. Ain't hard. Hold on. Hold up. The information and data of that chicken is in a decay stage. So if it's decaying, right, then that means that the information is becoming death. Now, when you eating that chicken, you got to think, why does it smell the way it smells? Chicken don't smell the way it's supposed to. Then, this is what you also got to ask, right? Why is it that when you open sandwich meat, right, a lot of people have been programmed so much that they are literally go past the smell of the sandwich meat. The sandwich meat has a smell of the meat decaying. So why would you eat something that's decaying? Why would you do that? So, so yeah, why would he do that? So it's like when you look at people's conscious is programmed to be either you could be a conscious that's alive or you could be a conscious of death. But more importantly, what I wanted to say to the moon is where all that ruckus of what it's doing, all I'm saying is simply is plain. I understand that I have both forms. And the technology of the moon and what it's doing pretty much towards itself, I thank you for everything. You basically gave me everything I need to know in order to exile this shit. Got it? So, y'all not getting no power over me, okay? Keep on fighting yourselves, because y'all losing at an all-time high. Y'all not going to change direction. I already got your minds in a belief system, okay? So with that being said, the conscious of the moon had lost everything. The conscious of the sun obtained everything. And then what they got to do today is this. I'm going to show you this shit. I was having a great experience with this girl. I'm going to show you this shit. I was having a great experience with this girl from Kentucky, right? And I'm going to show you how I know. This is why I'm starting to delete every girl that's from the conscious of the moon, delete them completely out my conscious. Watch this. I was talking to a girl from Kentucky, right? And the girl from Kentucky, she had a nice tone. I was even saying it to myself. I was like, she had a nice tone. I like how the way she operate. She, you know what I mean? She basically, made she'll tell me like, I need you to do this, that, and the third. And I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna get that done, whatever the case may be. But then I started understanding, I'm like, yo, I like this. Right after I said that, right? Why, um, why is it that two different girls, I ain't gonna say two different girls, two of the same girls in New York State, right? Tried to basically give me a bad experience. That lets me know, right? Y'all must have some type of way to listen to our experiences and what we doing. For real. This shit is getting deep. Because on a simple fact, I'm starting to understand and I've seen that. As soon as I told myself, I'm like, yeah, this girl, she treating me nice, this, that, and third. I like this, that, and third. You telling me two other girls spawn up and they trying to give you a bad experience? We see what the game is about. We see exactly what the fucking game is about. We see exactly. This is manipulation at this point. I want you to keep talking about that girl over and over, bro. Yeah, because you starting to understand something with your mind. They want you to talk about shit from the past so your mind can stay there. When talk about a girl, talk about that. Override what they want you to talk about. And you know what I'm talking about. You override that. Okay? Don't go with what they talking about. Deny them, stay away from them, because they still on the same code. Anyone can see like, yeah, something going on here consciously.